Hey, Todd, both goals in the third came off of good individual shots from high danger areas on the ice. Were there any adjustments you made in between periods to get more of those grade A looks?
Well, we flipped some lines around a little bit, retooled those. I thought we got more aggressive in the third period. We had nothing to lose, so we kind of went after them a little bit more. And, our power play moved it around with a little more authority than it did earlier in the game, quicker, firmer. And as a result, we got a couple, but it's still what we're giving up. That's concerning, and a lot of it's coming from penalties again.
With those line changes you mentioned, you moved Trevor Moore up with Iafallo and Kopitar. Was that a nod to something he was doing well, or just something to kind of create some more of a spark for the group?
A little bit of a spark. I thought Trevor the last two games has skated really well, and I thought Kopi, that line needed a little more pace, so we went there with Trevor, and Brownie fit the other line, the third line, quite well too. So we'll see where we are tomorrow with those. We'll watch it again and figure out what we're doing moving forward.
Thanks, Todd.
Next up is Dennis Bernstein.
Todd, is this one a little bit more hard to swallow than the Minnesota games? Because you 5-on-5 didn't give them much. Lack of discipline, 2 power play goals, you wound up losing. Is this one a little bit tougher because of those circumstances?
No. The second game against Minnesota, the last one we played, was a tough one to swallow because I thought we shot ourselves in the foot right from minute one on. Today we were behind the 8 ball a little bit. The first 7 to 10 minutes we hadn't played at that pace yet, and we were caught watching and standing around. But I thought as we started to skate with this team and allow ourselves to have some confidence and keep up with them, we were okay. Obviously, the penalties are a huge part of what's going on with our team right now, and there's not a magic wand. There's nothing we can do other than take individual responsibility for some situations, and it's a little disappointing, but we've got to keep working at it. Our penalty kill was really good until they scored a couple, but it's inevitable when you've got that type of power play on the ice for 6 power plays in a game that they're going to eventually put a couple in.
Thanks, Todd.
Next up is Andrew Knoll.
Yeah, hi Todd. I wanted to ask you first about switching on the fourth line with Anderson and Grönstrom coming in. What did you think of their performance and the line's performance as a whole?
Well, when you take 6 penalties, often the line that gets shot the most for it is the fourth line, and they probably didn't get enough ice time tonight. We're coming from behind and killed 6 penalties, so that hurt that line. I liked Lias's competitiveness. I thought he was on pucks, and they made some nice plays down near the goal line to the net in a few shift situations. Lias got to penalty kill a little bit, so that was a good thing as well. So some good nights there.
And I know, it's only 3 games into the season, but with the condensed schedule, that's magnified to the math. It's probably more like 4 or 5 games. Where do you think your team is at relative to expectations you had coming in? And, what's kind of your takeaway from these 3 games so far and in the big picture?
Well, I think when we look at our game, we look at it 5-on-5. I'm comfortable where we're at in those situations. I think we can be cleaner. I think we can be a little quicker, better execution, but we're not giving up as much as we did at the beginning of last year. So that's a good spot to be in. Special teams, I'm still not completely happy with the power play. I think there's work that needs to be done there. Penalty kill up until this point's been good. For me, it's still the mental and game management situations that really have to get polished up. And, you can look at the penalties. There's maybe one that's arguable, the Carter penalty, whether or not it was a good call. The rest were penalties. It's not even close. And we've got to find a way to get around that and stay out of the box. You only have to go back to the outdoor game last year when we started to really play well and got on a bit of a roll. We didn't give Colorado a single penalty in that situation. It allowed us to stay in the game. Tonight it took us out of the game.
And I know when you're not playing much 5-on-5, it's hard to establish a forecheck. Do you see anything else maybe in your forecheck that you'd like to get going, whether it's aggressiveness or something technical?
Well, it needs to be better, but it needs the opportunity to be better, Drew. And I think you and I are thinking along the same lines, just the way you asked the question. It's really hard to create any type of rhythm in a game when you're killing 6 penalties off a night, and we've gone 6, 5, and 6. So until we really, keep it to 2 or 3, I don't expect us to be perfect, but I certainly expect us to be better in that area. And I'd like to see our team when we can roll 4 lines consistently, and there's a bit of a rhythm for each and every player. Right now, we're overtaxing players and underplaying others. So until it gets fixed, it's going to be that way.